Ukrainian side has resisted all attempts by Putin trying to provoke a shooting, a firefight, which would allow him to justify his invasion of Crimea and to try to justify an invasion of other parts of Ukraine.
Do you have the sense that this is getting worse? Because we're looking at this video and we see, this is obviously a video it's not live video, but the increasing violence that we're hearing about and the tensions. Do you have a sense that it's increasing or decreasing since you're there on the ground?
The longer that there hasn't actually been an invasion, the more people are optimistic, or they get the feeling that there won't be an invasion. The whole thing is people have thought this thing is a little bit crazy. I've compared it to a drunk, thuggish person in a bar trying to pick a fight with somebody who's just quietly drinking their beer, and the guy is saying, I will give you a fight, and the other person is saying, actually, I don't want to fight, and ignoring it. So people have been worried, but the longer that there hasn't actually been an invasion, except in Crimea, where there is an invasion, but people are, of course, feeling that it's tense.
Indeed. Askold, thank you very much. And of course, Secretary John Kerry is over in Ukraine. President Obama says he won't go to the G8, and he just spoke to Angela Merkel. So lots is going on in this story, but also lots is going on in the ground there. Thank you, Askold. There's no question this showdown with Russia is dangerous. Senator John McCain says President Obama believes the Cold War is over, but Putin does not. Senator McCain joins us. Good evening, sir.
Thank you. I believe it because President Obama said 20 years ago the Cold War ended. He said to Medvedev, tell Vladimir when I'm reelected I will be more flexible. A gross misreading of the nature and the ambitions of Vladimir Putin, and we are paying a very, very heavy price for it.
What do you think that President Putin is thinking tonight? What do you think President Obama is thinking tonight?
I think that President Putin, Vladimir, is thinking, well, I've got what I wanted, which is Sevastopol and the Crimea. And by the way, Russia signed a treaty in 1994 guaranteeing Crimea's territorial integrity as part of Ukraine. But he is feeling good. He now is deciding how much of eastern Ukraine he's going to cause problems in, and that really is something that we can't be really sure of.
Is he going further? Is he going further than Crimea?
I think it's very possible that he would go further and cause, quote, demonstrations amongst the Russian-speaking people in the eastern Ukraine, who, by the way, don't want to be part of Russia, but that's part of his near abroad. Unless we understand that Vladimir Putin is an old KGB colonel apparatchik that wants to restore the Russian Empire, he said, not me, he said, Vladimir Putin said the greatest catastrophe of the 20th century was the breakup of the Soviet Union. And so this president totally misread him, ridiculed Romney in their debate when Romney said that Russia was a major geopolitical foe. They keep saying that, well, this isn't East-West, this isn't the old Cold War chess game. No, as I guess Roger said, we're playing marbles and he's playing checkers. But to Putin, it is still the Cold War. It is still the Russian Empire. That's why he still has troops in Transnistria in Moldova. That's why he continues to occupy Abkhazia and South Ossetia. He believes in the near abroad and the Russian Empire, and we need to judge him as he is, not in a delusional fashion, which is the way President Obama has viewed him.
So what is President Obama thinking tonight as he sort of looks out as what has transpired in the last couple days?
I don't know how honest he is with himself, because he now said that the Syrian strike was all about whether Bashar Assad would not turn over his chemical weapons, when really it was that he used the chemical weapons. I don't know, except that he is now faced with a situation where Vladimir Putin, in violation of all international law, has asserted Russian sovereignty over another sovereign nation. And we don't know what he's going to do further. Well,
what Putin said today at a press conference is he rejected the Western accusations of Russian aggression against Ukraine, saying the U.S. should know better given what it's done, and identified U.S. action in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. So he's coming right back at us with that.
And, of course, in none of those cases did the United States of America want to exert influence and have our troops stationed there to basically occupy the country. He may say he's not doing that, but he is. There's 16,000 Russian troops there. And also, he said, by the way, when asked if there were Russian soldiers that are not, he said those were local self-defense units. I mean, he even denies that there are Russian soldiers there, when we all know that. And that is the height of arrogance, in my view. You saw the picture of those two sitting next to each other. You've seen the attitude that Putin has towards the President of the United States. He doesn't respect him.
So what are we going to do? Because it doesn't look like Britain's going to go with us, and Germany's not going to go with us, and Western Europe is so hungry for that oil that either originates in Russia or comes through it, or the natural gas.
Well, we're going to tell them they should be ashamed of themselves, because you're right, but they should. But we need to first help get Ukraine back on its feet financially. They're on the brink of collapse. Second, make sure that we do everything possible to get Moldova and Georgia into NATO. Third of all, we need to maybe do some military exercise with our small Baltic state friends. We need to restate and restart working on the missile defense system in the Czech Republic and Poland that, in the name of appeasement, President Obama stepped down from. And then we need an expanded Magnitsky Act where we identify these people and we would prevent their travel, any visas in the United States, any banking practices that they would do, and restrict their lifestyle. They don't like that, these oligarchs. And understand, but the most important thing, Greta, understand who Vladimir Putin is, what he stands for, and what he is willing to do to try to restore the old Russian Empire.
Senator, nice to see you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.